Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's another hot Saturday here in Luque, Paraguay. Temperature is up to 104 degrees today, and that's really nothing new. That's typical January weather here. Today's video is going to be about meeting the educational needs of your children when you come to Paraguay. And this video is primarily aimed at people who are thinking about moving here to Paraguay. And if you are thinking about moving here to Paraguay and you need some help with your getting your residency here, check out my webpage, paraguaymike.com. My wife is a lawyer and she's been providing those services for 10 years now. So back to the matter at hand, educating kids here in Paraguay. Now, the simplest way to handle that, and probably the way that you would have to if you don't plan on living in the greater Asunción area, is through homeschooling or finding a course online. If you're outside of the greater Asunción area, your options are going to be very limited for finding any type of a decent school for your children. The standards here for national schools and even a vast majority of private schools here do not come anywhere close to Western standards. Aside from the fact that all the education will be strictly in Spanish language, so if your child is not prepared for that, they're going to be lost in school. And the curriculum that they're going to be introduced to and what they're going to be studying is going to pale in comparison to what you're used to in your home country. So that being said, I'll talk a little bit about schools in the Asunción area. And I'm going to be focused on English language schools. There are quite a good amount of schools here in the Asunción area, private schools, Spanish language, that are very good schools. For example, San Jose or San Andres, these are top tier schools. And there are also good foreign language schools other than in English. There's the German language school, the Goethe school. Here it's called Goethe school. And the Colegio Francés, the French high school. These are also very good institutions. But for our purposes here, I'm going to be talking about English language schools here in Asunción. And I want to start out by talking a little bit about commonalities between all the schools here. Now, first of all, the school year here starts in February. It goes from February through the end of November. And most schools basically have the same fee structure. So when you start in a private school, there's going to be an entrance fee that you pay up front. That's a single time payment. And then every year you're going to have what's called a Matricula, which is a yearly fee, which helps to defray operational costs in the school. And then you've got a yearly tuition that is broken down into 10 monthly payments because kids are in school here 10 months out of the year. So you pay 10 installments on that one year tuition fee. And I guess I'll get right into talking a little bit about the schools themselves now. The first two schools I'm going to mention, all these schools are English language schools, but the first two are strictly English language. That's the American School of Asuncion and Pan American International School. These schools run 8 hours a day in English language. However, they do have to comply with the Ministry of Education requirements for Spanish and Guarani language. So although the child will be in a total immersion of dealing with the wind out here. Got my notes here. Although the child will be 8 hours a day in English language, they will have certain classes in instruction in Guarani and in Spanish. And I also believe that there's a Spanish a history component that is also taught in Spanish language, but I'm not 100% on that. But anyway, getting to the first school, that's the American School of Asuncion. And I've got a little bit of a breakdown, basic information about each of the schools I'm going to mention. And I want to mention also that I'm going to be quoting some prices that I was able to get off of the internet, doing a little surfing. So most of the schools, they have a breakdown in their tuition. So there'll be a difference between the tuition, for example, for kindergarten students, and then maybe from like first grade up to sixth grade, and then the next group will be a difference in the tuition between seventh and to the end of high school. So what I did was I basically just took an average, I added them all together and divided by 3, and just to give people an overall idea of what kind of costs we're looking at here. So anyway, the American School of Asuncion is located in Villamora. It's on Avenida España, very good location. And that school was founded in 1953. And the school itself is very similar to an American school, maybe an American school from like the 1980s, the layout of it and everything. And they actually, I believe, are the best funded school in Paraguay, because they also receive grant money from the United States government to maintain. And that is the default school also for the U.S. Embassy. They tend to send their people, the children of their staff, to that school. It's much closer, and it has a strong relationship with the U.S. government. So anyway, they have a student body of approximately 800 students, and their entrance fee is also broken down by age of the student, but the average is $8,500. So that's a single entry fee that you pay, $8,500, and then their matricula, which is the annual fee, is $700, and their tuition averages out to approximately $800 monthly. So ASA is a very good school and has a very good reputation, but I would say a consideration to take into, or a thing to take into consideration, is that is the school of the elite families here in Paraguay, the elite families that want to have their children educated in English language. So in that student body, a large majority of them are very, very, very wealthy families. I mean, the wealthiest in Paraguay, millionaires in dollars. And so if you were sending your child there, you would have to be prepared to put your child into that environment where where his, fellow classmates are going to be elite, very wealthy people, and they're going to have the attitudes that go along with that. So it might not be the best option to integrate, unless you yourself are coming here and you're very wealthy, or you are willing to roll with those punches. Then that could be an option for you, but it's definitely a consideration. I think that's all I'll say on that. Okay, so we'll get to the second school. The second school is Pan American International School. Now, that is my son's school, and that is located in Luque, not far from the airport. And I will be doing a future video on Pan American, and when I do, I will post it here, or I don't know how it is in here. I'm in reverse, so or here, I don't know. But the school was founded in 1993, and student body is approximately 250 students. So it's a student-teacher ratio of about, I think, 14-1. So it's a very good ratio. The entrance fee for Pan American is $4,000. They do offer a family entrance fee of $6,000. No, I'm sorry. It's $4,000, then $2,000 for an additional student, and then an additional $1,000 for the third student. And beyond that, it's for no entrance fee. So the matricula is $900 a year, and tuition averages out to approximately $550 monthly, the monthly payment. And the thing about Pan American is that it is truly an international school. There's 22, 23 different countries usually represented in the student body. And so it's a good opportunity for, like for example, in the case of my son, to not only get education but also to get experience being around children from other cultures and other nations. And it's also part of the I don't know the correct word in English language, but in Spanish you say formación, in I guess informing, you know, his attitudes and his opinions about things. It's a nice aspect that he can have and does have friends from many different countries. So okay, so next on to Trinity School. Now Trinity is also located in Luque. It's down near the International Tennis Club, and it was founded also in 1993 and has a student body of approximately 550 students. Their entrance fee is $3,500. I don't know if they have any discounts for additional students. I'm going on the information that I have received from, or that I've managed to glean off of the internet. So their matricula, the yearly fee is $700, and the average tuition is approximately $500. Now, Trinity is a very nice school. They have a beautiful campus, and their campus really is oriented towards sports. They have 2 very large natural soccer fields. Then they've got a synthetic soccer field, and then they've got another synthetic soccer field for the small kids. So they're, you know, if your child is into sports and things like this, that might be a consideration for you. I don't really know a lot about their educational programs, but they're a good school. So that's why they make the list. If you just want to say, if you find this content interesting or think it's beneficial, please give me a like. Maybe share it with somebody to help out the channel. Boy, I'm sitting here outside and my dog is going crazy. There's a bird that's bothering her. So if you hear barking, that's what it's going to be. Okay, the next school is Colegio Internacional. Now that's a very old institution. They were founded back in 1923, and they are a religious institution, so that's a consideration if you are looking more towards secular education. This might not be an option for you, but they are located down in Barrio Mariscal Lopez. They are in Asunción, so they're not far from downtown, actually. And their student body exceeds 1,000. The number that I saw on the Ministry of Education website indicated that they have 1,200 students. I don't know if that is completely accurate, because that data tends to be inaccurate at times. But anyway, their entrance fee is $2,000, and their monthly tuition is approximately $500. Now, Inter is a good school, very good reputation. It's been around a very long time. Their location might be problematic for you because of traffic. But, and oh, I should say also, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but the previous school, Trinity, and also Colegio Internacional, and the other school that I'm going to mention here, those are what are called bilingual schools. So they are 4 hours a day English in the morning, and then 4 hours Spanish language in the afternoon. So that's another consideration. Like I said, the first 2 schools are full-time English. These are bilingual. So, and then the next school I'm going to talk about is Lumen. And Lumen is also a good school, has a very good reputation. And they are located in Asunción, Barrio Imburucuya, down around the area of the Botanical Gardens. Not exactly there, but in that zone. And Lumen was founded in 1996. They got a student body of 750 kids. And their yearly matricula is $1,000. And their tuition is $500 approximately averaged out. So I'm sitting here sweating. I've got my trusty Folks beer, today's video sponsor, and there are other schools here in the Asunción area. I'm not going to get into all the data, but other good schools that I will mention are St. Anne's, Santa Ana, and then also SIL, San Ignacio de Loyola. Those are good schools, and they're also bilingual, so 4 hours a day of English and four of Spanish. The key thing that you have to remember here, I guess, every parent has their desires, you know, what they want for their children as far as education goes, and also every parent has their limitations, what they're willing to pay as well. So you can always, I don't know, in this day and age, you can always supplement what your child is learning in school with online education. Also, there's no shortage of tutors plying their trade in the greater Asunción area as well. Do a simple Google search and you can find somebody to come and help your kid if they need, you know, specific help in a specific area. But I would say that if I were coming here and not living outside of the greater Asunción area, and I was going to, you know, have to take care of my kids' education, I would go to one of the schools that I would have my children go to, one of the schools that I mentioned. Because the thing is, even though you can do homeschooling, there's that social component that will always be missing. And especially when you take into consideration that, you know, you're moving your child from their home nation, not just from all their friends, but also from their home culture, their home nation. And then to keep them inside of a bubble, you know, at your house and online and having limited contact with people, I would think would not only be boring and tedious for them, I would imagine, but also detrimental to their overall education. So anyway, I get the feeling I'm rambling on here. I talked about what I wanted to talk about, so I'm going to drink a little bit more of my Folks beer and get ready for an asado. We've got people coming over this evening. Hopefully the temperature's going to drop. They're saying the temperature's going to drop down to from 40 to 26 Celsius, so it should be a nice cool evening for me to do my asado. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and adios amigos.